So Mike, here we are in the dying days of this campaign, about a week left. What has struck me as the most interesting about this campaign is for a party that is 10 to 20 points ahead, according to the polls, the PCs have sent out a number of missives attacking either a specific candidate or a party in a particular riding.
It's true, and along with the emails, there's also been a lot of social media content. And ordinarily, when you see that coming from a party that's up for re-election, it indicates that they're in a close race. I think of 2017 when Stephen McNeil and the Liberals were vying for a second mandate, and really up until the final day, it was touch and go as to whether or not they would hold their majority or slip to a minority. In this case, there's no indication so far that Tim Houston and the PCs are in such danger.
30 negative press releases to 10 policy announcements from Mr. Houston.
It's just a fact. I think Nova Scotians have a right to know the facts, and as political parties, it's okay to share the facts.
Tim Houston runs a caucus that operates like a scrappy opposition even when they're in government. They've always done that. They continue to do that.
And so it could be that this strategy of really leaning into the other two parties, and in particular some people, is meant to try to deprive those parties and candidates of any type of oxygen whatsoever. Although it could also indicate, at least in some districts, they're worried about their ability to hang on to a couple of seats. We've seen them trumpeting the fact that their candidate is the only one who lives in the district. Ironically, their last leader lived in Halifax and represented Cumberland South.
For 8 years, not a peep about whether or not that was appropriate. The other thing that's interesting in this particular campaign is media access to the leader. No surprise, the toughest access has been with the PCs, the party in power, the party looking to a re-election.
Often the norm.
Yes, but you look at the NDP, normally they would relish having reporters around and holding events and getting all sorts of attention. In this particular race, as many events have been closed to the media as open to the media, which is an interesting position for that party to be in. Obviously, maybe the thinking behind that is, okay, we need to be strong, we can't stumble, let's keep Claudia Chender more tightly controlled, and of course, Zach Churchill available to all.
Well, and that could also explain what the NDP is doing here. You know, the Liberals are facing a lot of challenges on a lot of fronts, and so the NDP and Claudia Chender may be very content to let Zach Churchill wrestle with those challenges, and if he falters, if the party falters, they're able to have a pretty clear path to second place, which, given recent election history for them, would be a nice result. But Zach Churchill is facing many challenges, chief of which is the massive unpopularity of the Liberal Prime Minister in this province, and he's got to contend with that. He's also lost a number of MLAs who would generally be considered money in the bank for re-election. And so, you know, Zach Churchill is contending with all of these challenges, and really one of the only ways to push back against them is to be as available as possible to try to build awareness about what he's doing.
So in these final days, if you see a leader in a district that was previously held by their party, it means they're worried about the need to shore up support in that riding. And if they're in areas that were previously held by a rival, that suggests what they're looking for is opportunities for growth and maybe a steal from that other party.
Yeah, okay.